precisely meaning embracing those liberal values. And so if you are, if you're uh, somebody who is a classical liberal in a very strict Hayekian sense, great. But like there are lots of people who center fundamental human dignity and also think Keynesian economics has something to say. And I'm not gonna. I think libertarians would push those people by the face out of the room, and I think to the extent classical liberal orgs would tend to stiff arm those people, and we can't be doing that right now. There is an existential thing that's happening in the United States where those of us who recognize core human dignity as a value, and those who do not, are a dividing line, and we need to be together in that. And so that's why I'm happy to call myself a liberal, and anyone who wants to scratch deeper beneath the surface, I'm always happy to engage in a thoughtful, intellectual conversation, because that's what liberals do.
Well, and you mentioned the Keynesians, but one of the things about most modern presidents, and actually most presidents in the
Yeah.
United States, is they always valued some form of liberal trait. They always valued the things that did make us great. They did value. It's a modern, well, it's always existed, right? The idea of tariffing, the idea of trade wars, the idea of that we're just going to be isolationist. This isolationist movement, as the America First movement, it had its had its role into trying to defend the Nazis back in the 20s and 30s. But it's always been there, whether it be Pat Buchanan in the late 80s, early 90s, always been there, but it's never really had any prominence until Donald Trump. George W. Bush certainly, didn't back free trade. Now, that may not go as far as we want to, but it is a common ground that I think that we can build some coalitions when it comes to this sort of illiberalism that we can at least fight against. These are people that still agree with us on many of those basic core fundamentals, and others that just don't. That there are others that are happy with the illiberalism that is occurring.
Yeah, and honestly, what I see is I don't see any real harsh dividing lines within a coalition around